Hello, everybody. It's Slushy, and I just want to start off right off the bat. I'm not going to try to pretend to be some kind of theorist, okay? I'm not. I'm a gamer who loves horror games and who makes observations based on what I experience while playing these games. So I'm not going to try to pretend I'm somebody named Matthew Patrick. I'm not going to do that because that's not me. I'm not Matthew Patrick. My name's Slushy. That's on my birth certificate. It's on my ID. Slushy, all caps.
Check this out.
Let's get into this wondrous game called the Bushside Rangers.
Orders, we're so excited and want to meet you. Bushside Rangers is we're supposed to be.
Come on down to the Bushside Rangers Nature Park and let your child meet their favorite characters, go on our many rides, and enjoy what nature has to offer. The Bushside Rangers Nature Park, opening this month.
So I literally just played this a couple days ago, but I have been enthralled with the concepts that this game is presented. Now, everything I'm going to cover in this video isn't going to be factual, obviously. I have no idea. The game doesn't really do an incredible job of revealing a ton of story in the first chapter, which is probably for a reason, because the next couple of chapters are going to reveal the bulk of the story likely. So this video is basically be more of like a guessing and that kind of theory versus hey, look, this happened in the game and we can prove it. I can't prove shit. This is literally me just throwing out shit. So the interesting thing about it is Vera, the main character, comes up to the park and essentially she says she has to be brave, has
I don't know
to
about this
be
anymore.
brave, as if something happened to her at some point at this park.
I'm gonna
To
do
the
it.
point where she's terrified to go back here. She's been here before, evidently, because she's terrified of it. And she's forcing herself to go through those doors. And the only thing I could think of is maybe at some point in the past, it seems like this is pretty direct and obvious, but at some point in the past, maybe she was involved in some kind of tragedy that happened here at the park. And that's why none of the weird mascot characters, none of the animatronics are acting right. They're all just on the fritz. They're acting crazy. Simon and Chester, and we see Laurel at the very end, but we don't really know what's going on, but we can infer that she's probably off too. If the others are off, she's probably off as well. Who knows? She might be like a Glam Rock Freddy type deal, and she might be helping us in the next chapter. So we can't really speculate on that just yet because we barely see her, but it's so apparent to me that something bad happened to the point where she is absolutely horrified yet enthralled with coming back to this park to uncover some sort of mystery or maybe bury her past. She wants to prove to herself she's stronger. The trauma is no longer taking hold of her. And in doing so, she basically just involves herself in more torture because nothing in the park is right. Maybe some event way in the past when she was a little girl affected her so dramatically, and not only did it affect her, maybe it affected the characters. Maybe that's why the characters are acting weird. And this would also explain why they know her name. They all know her name. They seem very familiar with her. They call her by her name consistently.
Vera.
What? How does he know my name?
Never leave us, Vera.
And they taunt her using it, so it seems so apparent that there's clearly something going on there between the characters, the park, and Vera. And I'm going to segue straight into my next theory because again, I'm not very good at this whole format of making theories. I basically just talk about it. I'm not going to make some kind of super complex video here where I go through a bunch of little bullets and that's how I get to my theory. I'm literally just throwing out my opinions on what might be happening in the game. But I don't know. There's something about the owner of the park. He's mentioned a couple of times, specifically the one time that I noticed. I didn't go around reading every single little piece of note, but I did see a note where he was mentioned.
Message from our founder. It is with great pleasure that on this very day, Bushside Rangers Nature Park is open to anyone and everyone. Shall those who venture here have a wonderful time, and that dreams of those who are passionate, creative, and imaginative are fulfilled. Elias Courtney, 1992.
And that's like one of the only times he's mentioned, and the characters don't mention him. and he's not really like advertised all over the place. This place was only open for not even 10 years, I believe. So there something really bad happened. And it makes me wonder, since he's not mentioned very often, was he killed? Was he taken out? Did he do something crazy? Is he like possessing these characters? Is his spirit controlling these things? It's like, I don't know, there's so many different outcomes here because again, he's not mentioned very often at all, barely. Like you wouldn't even know his name if you weren't observant and looked at some of the details. So, I don't know. It really makes me wonder if he has some kind of spiritual influence on the park, like if he's controlling everything to happen. And maybe we're going to segue right into my next theory because they all kind of coincide with each other. Because to me, it fits like a puzzle. Everything, all my theories here seem to come together to fit like a glove. Because to me, when a theory is close to facts or it's conclusive, and maybe it's just because, my theories are warped or something, but to me, it makes sense. The way that my theories are going makes total sense. Maybe not all of them are true, maybe not even close at all, but I feel like part of them has to be true in order for the events of the game to make any sort of sense. And my last theory here is that Vera is quite possibly the granddaughter or daughter of the owner of the park because again, this is another way that the characters would know her so well because she'd have been there many times. She'd have been seeing these characters, probably familiarizing themselves with her. Maybe her grandfather or dad, depending on which one the owner is. And of course, that's even just going based off the fact that I believe that the the I believe that they're related anyways. Of course, if they're not, then that complicates things. But uh, all we ever get is a first name. We get her first name, and that's it. And being on a first name basis isn't just something that most people say. Like, you don't just meet someone on the street once and say, "Hey, Clark." You don't just call somebody by the first name. You got to meet them first. You got to you got to be around them. You got to get familiar with them before you start, becoming that close to them. So to me, it's very apparent that they've been around her, they've seen her, they know her name. And like I said, it really just goes together. Like the spirits knowing her name could be for multiple reasons. It could be because the spirits, maybe some tragedy happened and they were all involved and she was involved in it. And again, that's why she's coming back to the park to bury those memories so she can move on with her life. And it could also very well be the fact that her grandfather or father, the owner of the park, is controlling these characters and that's why they know her name. And it could also very well be, quite simply, she's coming to the park to uncover the details about her grandfather or father who she lost at this park, and that's also part of the trauma that she's going through. She wants to understand what happened, why it happened, why her childhood was so warped because of this terrible event that happened at this park. There's so many endless possibilities, and who knows what's true. I mean, I'm dying for chapter 2. I am so excited for chapter 2 whenever that comes. I've not been this interested in a mascot horror game in a while because most mascot horror games, honestly, truthfully, these days they follow the mold. It's like, hey, you have a factory, an evil corporation, you have a character coming to uncover the mystery, you have cool little creepy weird mascots, whatever, and that's it. There's no depth to it. I mean, you have your Five Nights at Freddy's that has depth, and you have your Poppy Playtime that has depth. And I'm still trying to figure out if Garden of Banban has depth. I'm assuming at some point I'm going to make a video on Garden of Banban theories, by the way, but and I have something interesting about that. It's going to be super weird, but that game itself is weird, so it's appropriate that the theories for it would be super weird as well. But I don't know. To me, these theories just come together. They fit, they make sense, at least for the time. I mean, we don't have chapter 2 yet. We have basically zero information. I'm going based off of the gameplay. There's not really any deep story. There's not like any voice clips you can find, like find a cassette tape from the owner. You can't find a cassette tape from a staff member. It's literally just you running through, exploring this park, getting chased, and that's the game. So I'm just throwing this stuff out there. I'm just trying to make a interesting, observant um observations. That's all I got for the time being. So Yeah, I recommend giving the game a shot. It's awesome. It's basically made by a very small group of people, which is always impressive, and it's really cool. And the characters are really freaking creepy, especially Chester. So yeah, I'm looking forward to chapter 2. I Let me know what your guys' theories are on the Bushside Rangers rather. And are you looking forward to chapter 2 and so on? I know I am. So yep, that's it. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.